When the truth is told and it breaks into the public square, some will cheer and some will oppose it. That's not political, that's spiritual. Become a person of the truth. Become a person of integrity. Become a person that does what's right. In most cases, it's not ambiguous or unclear. We prefer confusion and a muddying of the discussion so we can avoid the awkwardness of our choices. It's not a new thing. Now in Matthew 24, Jesus pivots, meaning he takes a new direction. It's like he plants a foot in the ground and he goes another way. The instructions are going to change. Remember, there's 2 or 3 days of this very up close and personal and intense training that he's giving to those who will listen to him. And he's been trying to expose the hypocrisy of the leaders in Jerusalem so the people will have the courage not to be swept along by them. But now there's a pivot that takes place. And he's going to begin to give us some instruction on preparations for the parousia. It's a fancy religious word. It means the second coming. He's going to begin to talk to the people that are listening about his return. It seems a little inconsistent with the messaging until you see the bigger picture. Jesus understands that he's within a few days of leaving. And he's going to begin to try to prepare his best friends for what next will look like. What an amazing friend we have. It's Matthew 24:36. No one knows about that day or hour. He's talking about when his return will be. And he said, no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. Now with that statement, if you meet somebody that tells you they know when Jesus is returning, what do you know? That they don't know. I wouldn't argue, I wouldn't debate, I'd just smile and go, oh, bless your heart. If they're not from around here, they'll think you complimented them. It's okay. As it was in the days of Noah, so it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. For in the days before the flood, people were eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage up till the day Noah entered the ark, and they knew nothing about what would happen until the flood came and took them all away. That is how it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. So Jesus just gave us a picture of what it will be like before he comes. And he lists some behaviors that people will be engaged in. I would note to you that none of them are ungodly or immoral. They'll be buying and selling, marrying and giving in marriage. They'll be doing normal life things. They'll be living too far into the world system to understand that God is moving. He said, up until the day that Noah entered the ark, nobody knew what was coming. You read that and you go, well, maybe. Except Noah had built this great big boat out in the middle of the field. I mean, he wasn't floating on one of the docks at Percy Priest. He built a great big old boat out in the middle of a field, and then animals started lining up. I mean, maybe that's normal. But I'm thinking that's a little outside of usual. But it wasn't unusual enough to keep them from investing or keep them from planning the next round of activities for their family. It certainly wasn't enough to cause them to listen to the message. Now here's the punchline. Jesus said it will be just like that. There'll be things that perhaps should give you pause. There'll be things somewhat unique, somewhat different. There'll be something going on that if you had any sensitivity to the things of God, there will be voices saying, repent. But there won't be very many repenting. Folks, it should give you concern if you can walk with your friends who are marginally aware of the things of God and there's no distinction with you. There better be some distinctiveness in our lives, or we're like salt that's not salty. If you put salt in your finger, that's not very salty. And you start taking the top off the salt shaker, it must not be working right. It's the humidity. Live in the South. Blah, blah, blah. It'll be just like that, he said. Verse 40, 2 men will be in the field and one will be taken and the other left. 2 women will be grinding with a hand mill and one will be taken and the other left. There's a sense of very unexpectedness, an assumption that we're all good and the assumption's faulty. And then he says, therefore keep watch, because you don't know on what day your Lord will come. Again, there's an unexpectedness to us. I'm amused at the determination Christians have to try to tell everybody we know. This is the time. I'm like, did you read what the boss said? You do not know. But understand this, if the owner of the house had known at what time the night the thief was coming, he would have kept watch and would not have let his house be broken into. No duh. So you also must be ready, because the Son of Man will come at an hour when you don't expect him. Who then is the faithful and wise servant? That's an important question. I want Jesus to think that I'm a wise and faithful servant, don't you? I don't want him to think I was a good preacher, a good church attender, a good organizer. I don't want him to think I was a good planner. I want the Lord to look at me and go, you were a faithful servant. That's the category where I want to ring the bell. So that's the question posed. He's going to give us an answer. Who then is the faithful and wise servant whom the master has put in charge of the servants in his household to give them their food at the proper time? It will be good for that servant whose master finds him doing so when he returns. What are we supposed to be busy with? Serving the people and the purposes of God. He's coming back, he said. And there's going to be an unexpected component to it. And what you want to be busy with is the assignment he's given us. But suppose that servant is wicked and says to himself, nah, he's staying away a long time. And then he begins to beat his fellow servants and eat and drink with the drunkards. Well, we'll just call that evangelism. The master of that servant will come on a day when he doesn't expect him, at an hour that he's not aware of. Watch this. And he will cut him to pieces and assign him a place with the hypocrites, where there'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth. It's a pretty hard pivot Jesus makes. In the paragraphs before, he's talking to the religious leaders and he's saying, you know, your hypocrisy is not hidden. Your duplicity has been exposed. You're not as clever as you think you are. You should repent. And they're going to make their choices, but they've been given one last invitation. Actually, they've been given multiple invitations. The Lord is with them, standing in the halls of the temple, inviting them to change. Some of them will. But then he makes this hard pivot and he said, you know, I'll be gone very quickly, but I'm coming back for you. And there'll be a lot of messages saying this or that, but nobody knows when I'm coming back. Not even the angels in heaven know. It'll be a lot like it was in Noah's day. Big boats and lots of animals, but people were just busy with their stuff. He said, who is a wise and faithful servant? He says, the one that's busy with the kingdom business.
Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel. You know the drill. Hit the bell for notifications. If you want to, leave a comment.